let's discuss game picks for this week. You went 11-5 last week. You got all the way up to 39-25 in the full season record.
Okay.
I also went 11-5. The two games where we decided to go split and.
Did I actually win one this time?
Yeah, you got the Minnesota-Cleveland game right. I chose Minnesota. You got Cleveland. And we went Baltimore-Denver. You went Denver. I took Baltimore, so we split those. We both go 11-5. Everything else was chalk.
Denver. I was trying to gain a win back.
I gave that Minnesota game away.
I should have known. That Denver game, I should have known better.
Yeah. But yeah, we were just looking at that, and I am at 44-20, still a 5-game lead on you.
All right, I'm cutting into that this week.
You went first last week. I'm gonna go first this week. Thursday's game, divisional matchup, short week.
Thank goodness.
LA Rams are taking on Seattle. This is actually gonna be the first good Thursday night game we've got in a long time. So Rams are favored on the road -2.5, and I am taking them to win this game. A good bounce back. Seattle is fraudulent. They have injuries. Probably won't have DK Metcalf listed as questionable or something like that.
I believe so.
He's injured. He's on their injury report. That's all that really matters. So he's not going to be at 100%. And I think the Rams have the defense to slow them down. I think the Rams have the defense to get after Russell Wilson. And I think they have the offense to pick apart the Seattle defense. So all around, I think the Rams are going to be a better team. Spread-wise, I would even take the Rams. I'm taking the Ram -2.5. So
He's not on the injury report.
He's not? Okay.
No, the questionable staff. I think they might have took it off today.
Gotcha. All right, well.
But still,
I still don't
on
think
a
he's
short
100%.
week, I wouldn't trust it necessarily.
Yeah. So
but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I think all the way this team is going to be able to get on top of Seattle early and not look back. And I think they're looking to have a bounce back week anyway.
I share your sentiments 100%, and I got the Rams as well. I was struggling with this for a bit, but I was like, per what you just shared, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's issues on both sides of the ball for both of these teams, but there's just way more in Seattle.
Yeah.
And it's a short week. I cannot in good faith after Seattle put up a stinker offensively last week and won some kind of way. I just it was the most baffling thing. That's why I was talking about it earlier. I cannot. That is a weird game to me. Like, how in the world, if you see a stat line like that, usually you lose, but yet they won. So.
Yep. All right. Well, let's talk London game. New York Jets are going to be on the road technically versus Atlanta, but this is in London, so I think this is going to be at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, not Wembley.
Okay.
So for all you London fans, definitely get on that. But Jets, Atlanta, you get to pick first.
This ain't even right. This ain't even right because it doesn't matter who I'm gonna pick. This other team's gonna win. I never get the London games right. It's and this is a fantasy thing too. It's like, oh my God, do I start them? Do I sit them? I don't want to start them. I do start them. I'm sitting there like, oh, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Look at that. My guy has no points. We're in the third.
Start off
quarter.
hot on
we're in
the
the third quarter. It is like no points already. Like, good Lord, everybody else is still asleep.
Yeah.
Team ain't even going yet. So, I digress. Man, I have no factors in this. I'm just taking Atlanta.
Okay. Well, I do have some factors. I am also taking Atlanta. I think because to me, I think it's the fact that New York's trying out a rookie out there. Matt Ryan has been on these London trips before. Zach Wilson hasn't, and they also have a young team around him. I think Matt Ryan does have some young guys around him, especially Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, a lot of guys that mostly have not been on these types of trips. But I think with your quarterback knowing kind of how this kind of will go and how to kind of gain the system over there, I think that Atlanta should be able to pull this one out. It's not going to be pretty by any means, but hey, I would not be surprised if the Jets win this game just off some BS. So
I wouldn't either. Or they just, or just you look up and it's like, say you wake up at 10 o'clock and you forgot the game was on,
yeah,
and you look over and look at that. Look at that, 20 to 3, Jets. Like, what just happened here? And
yeah.
because either one of these teams are that team. They can, if they get hot, they can catch lightning in a bottle here and there, and they also can just come out completely flat.
Yeah.
And now they're facing each other on a neutral field in another country. I don't know how to take that. I'm like, man, this is a push. You're like, there should be no line on this game. But moving on, I took Atlanta.
All right. Green Bay is going to be taking on Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So this one I still have not chosen yet, but it is my turn to pick. This one's tough to me because Cincinnati at home has been a very good team, a very solid team. Green Bay has been wishy-washy on the road. They have that really bad beat in New Orleans, and now they just had a little bit of a scare in the first half versus, for one, they had a scare in the first half versus Detroit. Now they had one versus Pittsburgh, and it's like, come on, why are you guys getting off to these slow starts? You got to be better than that. But even with that, I got to take Green Bay so begrudgingly, but I am going to take them to win this game. I think this is going to be starting to Cincinnati kind of coming back to the mean here.
Again, offensive line trouble have been overshadowed by some heroics of Burrow and Chase, and
Jamar Chase.
Wow, I always start with this for last name.
Anyway, I think you're thinking Chase Claypool,
Chase Edmonds.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of Chases in the league right now.
I got chased. Anyway, it's.
Oh, by the way, the line is Green Bay -3.
Got it. But taking in that account, there's an injury to Mixon. There's T. Higgins coming off of an injury. He's
Mixon
been out for
doing
2 weeks. And,
Mixon doing Mixon.
Yeah, basically Mixon doing Mixon stuff. But it's. And yeah, they are 3-1, but I'm sorry, they're playing with house money to some degree. I think I never talked them down, but it was one of those things like you're in that division, which there's an issue. And the only saving grace you got is that Pittsburgh is really much worse than we all thought. Like, man, they're bad.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, you cannot still got to play them honest or they'll get you, type of thing.
Well, they got them, so
exactly, and that's so. They're at home, but when I seen Green Bay, and I'm just like, I don't know how Green Bay does it time and time again, but they find a way to freaking win on the road like they did last week in San Francisco. I just don't even understand how, and a lot of times it's exactly what they did to San Francisco. They just jump out ahead of you early and then just hold on for the rest of the game, and Cincinnati is not San Francisco. And,
no.
And I get it. Yeah. You could say, oh, they went into Pittsburgh and they actually beat, which I thought was hella impressive. The only thing that's not impressive is that Pittsburgh actually sucks this year, which is the anomaly. So it wasn't as hard as I thought. I think I kicked it around for about a good 10 seconds. I'm like, wait, stop, man. It's Green Bay.
All right.
Yeah. I just thought I'd just do a very slow version of explaining that to everybody. So
well, you got another chance to do a slow talk. Detroit, Minnesota.
No, it's not gonna be slow at all. Minnesota, 100%. It's Detroit on the road. Did I mention it was Detroit, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's the only stat I need to say. Detroit.
I mean, it could be a good game. I don't know. It's
now
Minnesota's -8.5.
Can I do fandom now?
Yeah.
I really hope Detroit wins.
I am pulling for Detroit in this game.
Oh my god, because
I am rooting hard for Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a swing game. It's right here. I mean, this will open up all kinds of things, not just for Detroit, but for half the NFC gets opened up in this if they can beat them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from that aspect. So my fandom, I'll happily get this one wrong, just to see Detroit win this game.
So we're both in the same boat there. We're taking Minnesota for the win, but we're really pulling for Detroit.
Yep.
I have the great opportunity to select a horrible game in Denver at Pittsburgh. I don't like this at all. It's a -1.5 for Pittsburgh at home. Pittsburgh sucks. Denver probably doesn't have Teddy Bridgewater back in time. Do we know how bad his concussion is?
I don't know. No, that
I
was
mean,
the
even if coming off the concussion, still might not play well.
same question I asked, and I mean, it ain't a couple people in Pittsburgh that can't ring his bell again.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't like taking Pittsburgh, but I have to in this case, and I don't like it. I really don't. I genuinely hate it. I don't like this pick. If you are basing your betting odds based off of my picks, don't do it with this game because I don't like this game at all.
I don't either. Man, we're in the same boat.
Okay.
I was just. Like,
I hate that game. That game is horrible.
Much as I don't want to pick you, Pittsburgh, I have to. God. Why?
Well, damn, you take damn. I already put my pick in. God damn it.
Yep. I locked it in right behind. I have Pittsburgh with you. You know, lock it. Move on.
God damn it.
No change.
Well, you get to pick this Miami Tampa Bay game. You get these gimmies over here.
I know. But I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. You thought I was gonna say Miami.
I knew you weren't. Tampa Bay at home.
Man,
I just got to go find this line and then we can move on. -10. All right.
Blowout.
New Orleans versus Washington football team. I am taking the football team. Washington is very inconsistent, but so is New Orleans, and Washington is at home. So that is my reasoning. Take it to the bank.
I got Washington.
All right. Let's talk. This actually is going to be a good game. Philadelphia versus Carolina. Do you get to pick it first? Yeah, you can pick first on that one.
Well,
-3.5 for Carolina.
I know Philadelphia's that tough out. Carolina's coming off a loss. They look very impressive. Philadelphia did at least show life when they played the Kansas City Chiefs, and this wasn't easy. I had to circle back the list and come back to this one. It wasn't one of those you just just circle and keep moving. However, I got to take Carolina and they hit a bump in the road with Dallas, but Dallas is way more and a far better team than what Philadelphia is. Even being Philadelphia is a tough out, but I just think Carolina is that team, and they got enough, and they don't even need. I mean, man, they don't even need CMC really, and they still look hella impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they that team. So I got Carolina.
Agreed. I got Carolina too. I like them. Philadelphia hasn't been any sort of a slouch at all this season, but they have these moments of just like mental errors and just sloppy play at times that just gets them. So, and Carolina doesn't make mistakes.
Quiet as kept, man. Had a very rough. There's gonna be a very rough 2-week stretch. I mean, man, at Kansas City and at Carolina, like damn.
No, he was at home for a Kansas City game. I was in Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah.
But
still, I mean, you got Kansas City.
Face Kansas City regardless, but whether you were at home on a neutral field or not,
and everybody was watching that game too. So
yeah. So I digress from the being on the road, but
okay, I get another crap game to pick here. Tennessee on the road versus Jacksonville.
This is it. Hey. Before you say anything, remember what just happened this week.
I know.
Just saying. Jacksonville in double overtime. Not that they got one.
Tennessee is a -4.5 favorite in this game on the road.
That's it?
Yep, because Tennessee sucks too. I'm gonna do it. I'm taking the upset. I'm taking Jacksonville. Jacksonville gets their first one of the season here.
Right. I got Tennessee. I'm gonna stay there because I need a win.
You need to get back in there.
So I can't even move off of that. I just took Tennessee. Nothing that they done coming into this game even reeks. This is a team that should win. Come on the road. But
mine is based off of Jacksonville did look better last week. That was the best game of their season so far. They do have all of this debacle outside of football that they have to deal with, and that's a big distraction right now. But I think they can hopefully get it corrected before Sunday, and once they get out there on the field, it doesn't matter what happens with Urban Meyer after the game. He's there now. Let's go out there and win against a team that just does not look good right now. You lost to the freaking Jets. Come on.
Yeah. And everything in me is like, okay, surely you can't lose to the Jets and Jacksonville back-to-back weeks. Oh my God. Are you serious?
All right. Well, you got New England, Houston. Who you taking here?
New England. don't get me correct. Let me be very clear. I can see Houston winning this game flat out.
New
Just
England is they are -8.5 in this game. Vegas is saying New England should win this handedly,
I get
but
it.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I can see
I can
Houston
just
pulling
see
this
Houston
game
just.
out.
I mean, literally, like from the first quarter, on just punch them in the mouth and they never look back. You know, because I gotta you gotta factor in New England's mental state and where they
Coming
are
off that game.
emotionally coming off. Yeah, last week's game. Like, I don't think that's necessarily done just yet, and that's going from Belichick down. Like, dude, yeah, you missed an opportunity, but
Because I mean,
and
coming
Houston,
out of that press conference, when they lost that game, Mac Jones looked so like deflated after that game. Like, man, we had him like just right there for the taking. We could be 500 right now, but we're not. Like there's like nothing he could do. So I agree. Like emotionally, I think that game took a lot out of them.
yeah. So I think they can hold on for the win because I don't think this is gonna be as easy a game as they making this out.
This is not going to be Buffalo Houston. This is not.
No,
This is going to be more like Tampa Bay New England last week.
I think so. You know, it could be in the teens. I mean, low 20s. I just don't see. You know, yeah, I just don't see somebody jumping out 30 something. Like if somebody get 30 points, I think both teams gotta have. You know, I just don't see I don't see somebody sitting there with 35 and I'm over here down with 21. You know, type of thing. I don't see that.
But I'm taking New England too, just in case nobody heard me say
Gotcha.
that.
So you got Houston, got it. Go move
it. I get to. Why do I have all the tough games to choose? The hell is this? Cleveland versus LA, the Chargers.
The one.
Yeah, it is.
Chicago, Vegas was next in line, wasn't it? Not on your list?
Not on my list.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I got Cleveland versus LA.
Yeah, I had to. That was one of the second to the last ones.
It's only a -1.5 favorite for the Chargers. You know what? Based off of what I saw from Cleveland last week, I don't know if they can fix that chemistry in just 1 week. Between Odell and because there is still no Jarvis, correct, in this game.
No.
So
I think he's still
in IR.
Week 3.
Yeah,
on his third week.
So with that being the case, I just don't think that they can fix that in 1 week. I'm taking the Chargers. The Chargers looked really good last week, and they've looked really good all season long. The only tough game that they really had was Dallas, and they dropped that game. Granted, that game was at home.
Yeah.
But they bounced back right from that and gave Kansas City a great run in that game. So I'm taking the Chargers at home. I think that this will be their first home win this season, right?
Chargers?
Yeah.
Home, yes.
Yeah. So I think that they're going to win this game at home. Cleveland, they're going to have some evaluating to do. I think Cleveland, regardless, has some tweaking that they need to get done in the first place to figure out this offense as a whole. So I think this is going to be a wake-up call for Cleveland.
No, correction. They're 1-1 at home.
Oh, okay. What game do they win at home?
Schedule. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank.
I can't remember what game they played at home that they won.
Week 1. Washington. No, they were at Washington.
Yeah.
The Raiders. That was their first win.
Oh yeah, that did just happen on Monday.
Just happened. Jeez, I'm like,
God,
that?
That's just talking so about bad.
I'm sitting there thinking like it hadn't have been this week, it had to be last week. They're like, no, they were at home. What am I talking about?
That's funny. Oh, okay, yeah.
No, this is a game I didn't want to watch. That was the problem.
No, I did. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, oh yeah, forgot. Sorry. No. Okay, so yeah, 1-1 at home. I think. Okay, well, whatever. Who do you got in this game?
Everything in me wants to give this to Cleveland. Everything. Not, but they coming off I mean, they're gonna have back-to-back road games against, you know, obviously two home teams that are very tough at home.
Yeah.
And the Chargers is a actual contender, you know, and they come on, man, they beat the Chiefs, you know, in Kansas City. That's asking a lot And considering what you were sharing about what was going on with Cleveland's offense, that's asking a lot for them to just all of a sudden shake it off and just be this other type of this balanced offensive and defensive team coming on their second week of being on the road. Now I don't know if they flew back home to Cleveland or if they did, were they there for a day or two, but
They probably did.
it's just what I'm saying. It's a lot, because that's a lot of travel,
Mm-hmm.
So it's you got to take some of that into account. And I mean, they're coming right up in the LA's backyard. They just sitting there, just really just relaxing and waiting for the game to be played. It, I just think that's asking a little bit too much. And Baker's definitely got to get his stuff, his act in order. But I don't think that's the reason why I'm saying that they're losing. It's just the Chargers are that team, and that's asking a lot out of Cleveland to really come off the road and just to steal that.
Yeah.
And for them to win will be literally them stealing the victory. But I have the Chargers.
All right. Chicago going on the road, take on Vegas, coming off that loss against the Chargers. You get to pick first on this one.
Kicking the tires on this one, but
by the way, Vegas is -5.5 favorites at home.
That's fine. The loss to David Montgomery, that's too much for me. And they on the road. I'm sorry. I gotta go Vegas. It just I don't even have a whole long commentary. I don't like the Bears schedule. Just we make mention of it here and there, but this on the road, on at home, back on the road, back and forth thing. This is not good for this team, and I don't think it's fair to say that the Bears is a poor road team. I just think this schedule is going to make them a poor road team this year.
Mm-hmm.
It just there's no continuity in this schedule, and
they got to get one on the road though.
They could, and I think Vegas is kind of hot right now. That's the only thing I'm saying.
I'm taking Chicago just so everybody knows. Yeah.
I agree. However, I got to get back in this thing, so I have to strategically take my shots where I need to take them. So I'm. For the sake of these weekly picks, the pick'ems, I gotta go with Vegas because I need to get a couple wins back under my belt.
So. This is going to be a very tough game, now, but I do think
if the Bears win, I don't care about the pick'ems. So I'll take a Bears win any day. That trumps everything.
But I do think this is going to be good because I think that yes, Damian Williams is a starter, but he is still also listed as questionable, and I am actually very high on Khalil Herbert. Mm-hmm. I think Khalil Herbert could be that next guy behind David Montgomery. This game, to me, is going... if this is barring Matt Nagy and Bill Lazor figuring this the hell out, mm-hmm. but honestly, I would want Khalil Herbert to be the star back in this game. Feature him. Let him go play. Let him go get out in open space because I think he can make a play out there. Now, you run the risk of ball security with that because he is a rookie, and rookie running backs also almost always have an issue holding on to the ball. Mm-hmm. But with that being the case, I just think that he has the ability to bust open big plays and really open up this run game, and then you can follow up right behind that with Justin Fields, getting him out on those naked boots and all that stuff, and the creativity that this offense can have. And I think this might also be a big game for Cole Kmet. So I think across the board, there's a lot of opportunity here for Chicago. A lot of young guys on this roster that really have an opportunity to kind of make a name for themselves in this game, where Vegas is coming off of a tough game, a bad loss, and they have some vulnerabilities. But they've got some scrappy veterans too. This is going to be a dogfight of a game to me. It better be anyway, because
I'm leaning toward Vegas still trying to capture this lightning in the bottle type of style of player that they're playing in this first month, but we shall see. Because it was one of them games where I'm like, this could go either way. I think I strategically take my chances right here. Yeah. However, I do think that this being their schedule.
By the way, I'm a homer, so that's also why I took Chicago.
Yeah, and because I'm a homer, I took the angle, and I'm saying this is my chance to bet against them. So I really do hope the Bears win, but because come on, Vegas, really 3-1, yeah. you. I respect Gruden, trust me, but y'all not that team. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Y'all not this year. I'm sorry. You could try. You could be decent. We even predicted it to be like about 500, but this super hot start is only telling me that the the truth is about to come when y'all go on that 4 or 5 game 5 week losing streak. So it just we shall see. But that's not what I had the way I have it in these
Yeah.
picks. So I have Vegas and you have Chicago. So that gives me 2 wins next week. So
All right. Well, you got the Giants versus Dallas, so your favorite to pick. Well, I guess I get to pick first.
we already know my
I'm taking Dallas. I know you've stated.
You said
we got to hear it.
Whoever I'm taking. You said whoever in the Giants thing, you taking the opposite team.
I get to pick first this week, so I got Dallas.
What a hypocrite! You supposed to take the Giants. All right, but I have Dallas.
All right.
The Giants are. I'm not even gonna waste people's time. I got too much film, too much tape on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Let's talk San Francisco, Arizona. You get to pick this one first.
Man, I'm taking Arizona. Screw that.
Same here. There's no question about it. To me, I do not imagine. Before the season, I did not imagine San Francisco being under 500. But you lost against Seattle last week. That's on you.
They lost. They lost 20 something people. And yeah, I hear you.
They did lose 20 something people. They've also lost 10 people now.
They lost 20 something this year. What are you talking about?
So yeah, they're not in a good spot right now. They're going to be under 500, I believe, after this game.
And I'm gonna just use. It could just left it there. Just from injuries alone, can't beat this team. It's just y'all don't.
It's too balanced. Like we've said it again and again. This is one of the most balanced. This is, I think, coming into this season, Arizona is playing how a lot of people thought Cleveland would be playing this year.
Yes, and Cleveland did look like that up until last week.
Really. Well, with Jarvis Landry going down and now the issues with now he only has Odell to throw to, and I think that is just they're just kind of piling on for Cleveland right now. Which Cleveland definitely could be that when they do get Jarvis Landry back. It's just,
and remember,
they need to figure it out. They need to figure out that Odell.
Right, they do. They seriously either do or trade this guy. You got to move on from him. You got to do something.
Yeah.
But remember what your reference was to the Arizona Cardinals last week. You referred them as they remind you of another type of team, and they're a fun team to watch, and they're balanced, and just from top to bottom.
Yeah,
they're the Phoenix Suns of the NFL. I'm like, man, every time I was looking at their stat line, I'm like, look at all of everybody eating at the table today. You just don't see that. Like, this is a freaking Pro Bowl stat line, man. Like everybody gets, everybody gets to eat.
Yeah.
And outside. Well, sorry, Christian Kirk. It was your week, sir.
That was I was thinking about who was the other wide receiver over there. Because they're all going Rondell Moore, obviously DeAndre Hopkins. You got AJ Green. Who was that last guy? It was Christian Kirk. I couldn't freaking remember it.
1 for 5, 1 target.
Yeah,
that was the surprise to me more than anything. 1 target. I mean, he caught his 1 target, but damn, you won that. You didn't look that dude away, but 1 time. Man, well, I guess when you got assets like coming out of your ear, like, look, dude, I just didn't even see you out there, man. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, Phoenix Suns. So I mean, I kind of took that and ran with it. I'm like, man, that's a good cross sport analogy right there. I mean,
I do my best. I do my
one
research.
I've seen. Yeah. I've never come up with one as good as that. That was, and I mean, playing the same freaking.
Yeah,
city, yeah, it's just that culture.
Yeah.
So but I had to take Arizona. I think this is going to be like another one of those Arizona Rams, San Francisco, Seattle divisional rival type thing, which is the flip flop. Like both of them games, I keep watch those closely because
they keep putting them in these midday windows.
On the road, and will San Francisco be able to now win on the road? And in both cases, I just
realized that.
What's that?
we're not going to be able to watch the Chargers Browns game because we got the Bears Vegas game. That sucks. Because that's going to be one of the games of the week.
They got like 5 really good games this week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Kansas City is at home versus Buffalo, -3. You, sir?
I got this one.
Do you, or is it me?
Hold on, I did Arizona, so no.
Oh no, so it's me. You know what? Kansas City's -3 at home. They've lost a couple of games against these AFC contenders when it comes to, I mean, they lost to Baltimore. They lost to the Chargers. I don't see them losing another one against these AFC contenders. They're going to have to show that Kansas City still is an AFC contender themselves. And this is going to be the week to do that. Buffalo, this is going to be a tough game for them too, because, I mean, Buffalo is not by any means an easy out. I mean, it did look like they would be coming up based off of that week 1 game versus Pittsburgh, but Buffalo's too strong, and Kansas City's strong too, though, and they're at home. It's going to be loud. It's under the spotlight. I think this is Buffalo's first primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take Kansas City. They're going to figure this out, and they're going to get their statement win of the season here.
Murderers Row yet again, part 5. You know?
Yeah.
Now Buffalo comes to Kansas City. Now I unfortunately, if any self-respecting Kansas City fan knows, you uncannily cannot technically really factor home field advantage in too much with Kansas City.
Yeah.
It does not exist. They win just as many big games on the road as they lose big games at home. Yeah. I mean, and they are notorious for dropping games at home. It's just what they do. You know, LA just did it, which I didn't say anything. I never said anything about it. But when I said that was the first thing, never defend the house. You know, it's just like they'll go and they could do Murderers Row all 7 games on the road and come out 6-1.
Yeah,
they do that all at home. What 2-5? You know, 3-4. Like what was that? You know, like maybe 4-3. You know, yeah. It's just something is. They are equally as strong and as weak at home. I can't say as anybody. I can't even compare it to anybody. They just have a weird home record where their home record just being at home just does not mean it's a slam dunk for them. I will take it, but even me taking it, I still sit there like I've watched too many games of them dropping at home. I mean, more at home than I did on the road, to the point of I don't factor it in at all. It's just something I just look at, like, which is like with the Philadelphia thing. I didn't even remember where they played, because it's the weirdest thing I do with this team. Like, I'd never factor their home field advantage because they really piss on it most times. You know, anyway, or if they drop a lot of their upsets, if you follow it recently, probably in the past as well, but recently they come on at home, not on the road. The majority of them. They do lose on the road. Don't get me wrong, but their bigger upsets are generally at home. But moving on, factor all that into that. Did get the impressive victory on Philadelphia. A win here will right the ship, put them right back in the conversations. All that muttering about the Chargers in Baltimore, even though no one's even talking about the Baltimore game, if you noticed. It didn't even happen. You know, it's more about what the Chargers did. Losing 2 straight games, and you know, Buffalo looks. I'm sorry, man. They're on fire. Yeah. And I know, they beat the Texans. I'm talking about generally speaking. But I'm taking Buffalo in upset. I don't have a long series of analysis. I
would not be surprised.
It's more about consistency. I think they have enough to just edge them, and I'm not factoring in. This is why I'm bringing up the home field advantage. because it's not necessarily going to be a stain on Buffalo. So I think
My only thing is that Buffalo, I mean, Kansas City wise, they have. Buffalo is in a situation where they're back there. Everybody's kind of talking about them as this team that is the best in the league now. Now that LA has dropped one, now that Kansas City's dropped two, all this stuff. But when it comes down to it, Kansas City needs a statement win. They need this. Buffalo, yeah, I mean, it would definitely help bolster their resume after losing to Pittsburgh, but Kansas City is a team that is hunting to let people know we are still the class of the AFC. This is still our conference. This is all us. So this is I think they're looking for that statement win to get all this BS talk out of the media. Stop having to answer questions about are they going to be able to right this ship? Are they going to be able to figure it out before playoff time comes and whatnot? So I just think Kansas City need it more. They want it more, and they're at home. I know you said there's no real home field advantage with that, but hey, it's nice to be familiar with the locker room that you're coming out of, getting the cheers, getting that home crowd behind you,
True. Overall,
all
yes.
that stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. When
it would help if this was also
O's.
in November, late November, when it's cold. That would definitely help, but that's just not the case.
For Buffalo.
It helps for anybody.
I was gonna say, I mean,
when you're at home and when you have the opposing fans just on you all night long in that cold and you're slogging through, whether you're at home or you're the fans help you.
I think Buffalo was the exception to the rule because I mean I don't think no one gets worse winter weather in the NFL than Buffalo when it comes out when it's. Who has the worst blizzard or storm?
Yeah, no, they get hit pretty hard, but I think it just because when you're talking about it's different when you're at home, when you have that Bills Mafia behind you in those games. It's different than when you have the loudest stadium in the NFL as it is right now, yelling down at you negatively, not trying to support you, not trying to back you. They're making it so hard for you to make those play calls. You're already cold. Granted, it does not matter for this game because it is still pretty warm at this time of the year in the fall. So the Kansas City's not going to have that advantage. But they hopefully those Kansas City fans will get out there and make it hard for Buffalo to make their checks at the line, and just make it difficult all around for the Buffalo Bills. I just think Kansas City wants it more, and it comes down to Andy Reid knowing that this is going to be a storyline for the rest of the year if they lose this game. That's going to be just a massive distraction to not just because they lost this game and there's no way they can really bounce back from this. Not because of that. It's just because all the media is going to be asking about this all year long because this is one of their marquee games. And if they lose this game, this is going to be question after question after question, week after week after week. It's just going to be, when are you guys going to be able to right this ship? When is it going to be this? When is it going to be that? And then it's going to get into the heads of the players, and that's where things start to get bogged down. And I don't think Andy Reid is in the business of letting that happen to the mental psyche of his team.
Right.
So,
we should see. I mean, the fan in me is all Kansas City. I just. X's and I'm like, if there was a time to lose, here it is.
Well, they already did. So.
And speaking of Murderers Row, did not end at week 4 or week 5. It ends at week 7. Yeah. So it's just, gosh.
Let's wrap it up with Monday's game. Yes. Indianapolis is going on the road to Baltimore. You get to pick this one. You. It's all you.
It's me. Baltimore.
Same.
They're at home. It's Baltimore. Indianapolis is still. I mean, came off a very
-7
impressive.
by the way for Baltimore.
Yeah, take the line. Yeah. Indianapolis still trying to piece their season together, and came off got their first win, but I don't think they get number 2 here on the road. So leave it at that.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what we got right. Just tell us what you give me a piece of your mind. But we want to thank you guys for listening. And again, power rankings up on Twitter. Go check that out there at @the_square pod. Back to game picks as well. Just let us know what you're thinking power rankings wise. Let us know what we got wrong, what we got right. And we will catch you guys in the next one.
Have a good night.